There's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this way. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. That was what was about to happen to me today. If you did not know, I am in Atlanta, but I'm not in Florida. But Hurricane Helen is still reeling her head up here. So today was a little crazy, and I apologize for my tardiness, but I did not want to come on unless everything here was clear. The sun's out. It's pretty chill now. I think I have time. I just did not want to hop on here in an unsafe situation, especially since yesterday our power got knocked out. So I'm being very, very careful, but thank you all so much for still holding on in the chat. And thank you so much for being here. How are we doing, Star Fam? OMG. I'm not going to spend as much time in the comments just because I'm hopping on a bit late. But I just did want to hop in here and say hi to everyone. Shout out to everybody in Florida. It breaks my heart, everything that I'm seeing. I wish there was a better system for you guys over there. But I'm so happy for everybody who was able to get out safely and praying for the people still there. This is so unfortunate. Also praying to the people in Atlanta, but like South Atlanta, I'm up north, who are dealing with massive flooding in that area. Praying for you all. I hope it gets better. Global warming is real. Please vote for politicians who cares about the planet. We only got one place to live. We better take care of it. Anyway, that's killing me. That's killing me. I can't believe it. Not my Naomi. Not my Naomi. That young couple is just full of content. Full of content. Hey, Elise, how are you? Shamiko said, good afternoon. Finally. Normally, Shamiko, when we do these lives, it's in the evening for you. But Shamiko says, good afternoon. Happy Friday, Nikki in chat. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Always here to support. I also love it when you and your family, you guys are so fun. LOL. Love from St. Kitts. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, sup, people. Everything is happening all at once because Mercury is in microbraids. Mercury is in microbraids. Love Like You Are said Naomi should have been the oh my God. You have no idea. If you're a millennial, you know what I'm talking about. Like growing up, like becoming older as a millennial means that everybody that you look up to or like all of the adults in your life were just terrible people. Like everybody that you looked up to, everybody that created great art, everybody that was an icon is just horrible. It's so upsetting. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Hey, Coos Girly, how are you? El Boogie said, well, looky, I just so happen to be alone in the office today, so I can freely watch this while eating lunch and pretending to work. I remember those days. Megan says, hey, y'all, I hope everyone is having a good day. Yes, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Just Johnda is in the building. Just Johnda will be joining me later in this live to discuss all things Eric Adams. Ciao. Thank you for being here, Just Johnda. No, I wasn't. I needed a clear path. I did not want to be on here and it just get a little crazy because it was mad crazy earlier today. Indy said, Nikki, when you were talking about Harris Department Store, I wanted to add back in the day you could buy cocaine and opium over the counter. Oh, cocaine? How far back in the day? And even a lion, I have to go. Spency said, hey, Nikki. That was not. I was looking right at it. What happened to Spency's comment? Rest in peace, Dame Maggie Smith. Another icon has gone. Here it is. Spency said, hey, Nikki.Star and fam, I'm so proud of Cardi for cheating back. And Eric Adams is a whole corrupt clown. LOL. Happy to see him lose. It's about time. Give Me Shelter said, I finally made a live on time. Happy Friday, Nikki in chat. Thank you for being here. Mama Star is here. JLB said, hey, Nikki and Star fam, so much is going on. It's crazy. The sun is finally shining in North Carolina too. Praying for everyone in the midst of the hurricane. Amen. It just came out and it's so peaceful. I'm like, girl, you was raging, but thank you for being here. It's hard being a millennial. It's hard being a millennial. Let's get into it. We are first going to start. Just Johnda, hit me up on Instagram if you let me know if you received the link or if you need me to send it again. And also, I wrote a comment back to you, so let me know what you what you want me to write. Sorry, I know you're on here, so that's the best way to talk to you. Let's get into it. So first on the docket is going to be Michael Eric Dyson, and then we are going to get into Naomi. Then we're going to do Cardi, and then we're going to the Offsets. Then we are going to end with Eric Adams. So let's first start off with Michael Eric Dyson. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because me being the political savant that I am, watching the news, watching hearings, and all of a sudden it gets very, very messy. Very, very messy. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, America is ghetto, but I'm not used to how ghetto how we are falling more and more into like ghetto-ness. We're not climbing out of the ghetto. We're digging deeper and deeper into it. Oh, Eric. I don't know why I call him Michael. Oh, yeah, it's Michael Eric Dyson. Yeah, I'm right. So anyway, here is what happened. So Mr. Dyson was on CNN with Nancy Mace, who is a Republican, conservative right-wing nut job. But CNN has to have people like that on their channel for ratings, because at this point in American politics, just at this point in America, everything is about views. Everything is about going viral, even the news. That's why, I get my news from Twitter, because you really can't trust the news these days. Like, everything is just, everybody's trying to get a viral clip on the internet. Nobody's really reporting actual factual news. Everything is just very, very messy. But Nancy Mace, who is a South Carolina Republican, was on a 10th segment with Dyson on CNN. Hold on. All these freaking ads. I'm not telling you who I'm reading this article from because I hate them, but they have far too many ads. You can't even read the whole thing. Anyway, a South Carolina Republican revealed this week that a liberal CNN guest sent her what she described as flirty text messages following a heated panel discussion on Kamala Harris, leading to an online feud between the two. Republican Nancy Mace appeared on a CNN panel with liberal author and academic Michael Eric Dyson on August 15th. Mace irked Dyson and another guest after mispronouncing Kamala Harris's first name, with Dyson claiming it was a part of a history and a legacy of white disregard for the humanity of Black people, which I agree with. The two spoke over one another repeatedly, and Mace said that Dyson had essentially called her a racist. I watched it. It was very heated. I watched it in real time when it was happening. It was very heated. That entire panel got Nancy Mace together, and Michael Eric Dyson was leading the pack. Yet after the 10th segment, Mace received text messages from Dyson that were friendlier than their on-air exchange. Shh, don't tell anybody. We look good together, Dyson sent, with pictures of the pair of them following a laughing out loud kissing emoji. Let me bring up the picture. After the Congresswoman laughed at the messages, Dyson complimented Mace on her looks, citing her gorgeousness. Mace entered the text into the congressional records on Thursday as a part of a discussion, pointing out Democrats who had also mispronounced Harris's name. Some of the vice president's backers have suggested her opponents deliberately say her name wrong and pronounce it as Kamala. It's pronounced Kamala, and they pronounce it Kamala, as a subtle form of racism. Bill Clinton, along with Al Sharpton, rapper Little John. Let's not forget that Joe Biden can't say her name right. Neither can Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, May said on Thursday. I would also like to enter into record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson. After a CNN interview, he begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me a racist on CNN, she reads out the text. The guy says I'm gorgeous in all of these photos. I don't think that he's bent out of shape about how anyone pronounces Kamala. No, now I'm doing it, Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it on both sides, not just one or the other. Following May submitting the text messages in a moment that quickly went viral, I watched it in real time and it went viral. Dyson hit back and called Mace a bigot and racist. The ridiculous lies told by Nancy Mace in the effort to smear my name because of her anger at being checked for her insensitive disregard for the vice president. I had no intent with her to do anything but be nice, he wrote on X. And her white woman tears and mendacity are all in the service of lies and distortion. I was wrong about one thing. She is a bigot. She is a bigot and a racist. Mace responded on her personal account on Twitter, and she says, disregarding a woman's feelings by attributing them solely to being a white woman is not only racist, but misogynistic. His comments were inappropriate. Apologize, take responsibility, and stop shaming the blame onto the victim. All women are sick of this S. So then the tides are not in Michael's favor, right? So that's when he then decides to hop. Did I not send it to myself? Hold on. That's when he decides to then hop on his Instagram and do a video about the situation. In the video, because I thought I loaded the video, but I don't have it. But in the video, he's just basically defending himself, saying that what happened with Nancy is not actually what happened. And I want to talk about this, right? Because I remember years ago, I was invited to the White House for one of their holiday dinners that they had. And I was actually gagged because everybody was friends. Republicans, Democrats, political commentators who seem like they hate each other on TV. Everybody was there. Everybody was busting up. And this is a long time ago. This is back when Obama was president, right? So the people in there, like, that was lining up, clamoring, because we were all like, it was a holiday party. We were all having a good time. The food was delicious. I will say my tax dollars went to some delicious food at the White House. So it was a really nice party. And then they announced that President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama was coming downstairs. So I guess they lived upstairs. So they were coming downstairs. And the thing that gagged me the most were the political commentators and the Republicans who I would see like on the Senate floor, who would be, doing interviews and, clips of them saying the nastiest and most racist things about Obama would go viral. I saw like these grown men and women rushing to say hi to this man, like rushing, knocking down the Secret Service to shake his hand. And in that moment, I was just like, oh, this is all a farce. They are playing the American people. None of these people actually believe half the stuff that they're saying. They're just doing this to rile up their base so that they can have some support for whatever idea, and it's not lost on me that the majority of politicians are failed performers, like people who wanted to make it in Hollywood, people who wanted to make it who wanted to make it on Broadway, theater nerds, right? Stage kids. All of these people are just performers. It's all a farce. So when this happened with Michael Eric Dyson and Nancy Mace, I absolutely, listen, Nancy's a nut job. I don't agree with her on anything. But I absolutely agree that he was trying to hit. I absolutely believe that he was trying to hit, and he didn't know that Nancy would embarrass him the way that he did. Now he's lost a lot of credibility. He's lost a lot of credibility because people are just like, first of all, you're married. You gave this big speech to your wife about how she, how much you love Black women and your wife is a Black woman, like all of this pandering to Black women to not only go after this white woman who you called a racist and a bigot and try to get in her panties. Because that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. And I'm telling you, I was watching this in real time when Homegirl pulled out her Twitter conversation with this man. And I have to say it, I don't agree with her or nothing, but she ate that. She ate that. She said, well, you don't have, I can't pronounce her name, but you didn't have a problem with me mispronouncing her name then. So why are you acting like this now? And pulled it out and showed it. The gasp that was let out, he was spiraling on Twitter, spiraling because he was caught. He did a 7-minute video, and I think it didn't load because it was 7 minutes. I wasn't going to show the whole thing, but ever since I downgraded my StreamYard subscription, they have taken away all of my privileges, girl. Anyway, he was spiraling on Twitter and on Instagram, trying to get his credibility back. But my God, today, your slip showed Nancy exposed that man through and through. But this is the truth. Like, this is what it is. I do not believe any of those. Ever since I was at the holiday party at the White House, I don't believe any of these politicians. It's all a farce. They are all friends. They are all friends. Remember when Tucker Carlson, I think he was hacked and all of his message. No, it wasn't Tucker Carlson. It was admitted into, it was admitted as evidence in the case against Baby Biden. What's Baby Biden name? The one that got a little crack addiction? Tucker Carlson was reaching out to him, asking him for recommendations to get his son into an Ivy League school. And I'm just like, the way you talk about his daddy, the way you talk about him, why are you reaching out to him to ask for help? Because you're all friends. It's all a farce, people. It is all a farce. The 1% is locked in. They all work together. They are all friends. They all have a community. They play them games to trick up the working class, the poor, working and middle class people. I absolutely believe Nancy Mace. Michael Eric Dyson, you got caught. That's all I wanted to say about that situation. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. Ryan said the text exchange doesn't even look inappropriate. Am I being dense? Well, let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. First of all, it's the don't tell anybody, right? With the laughing and kissing emoji. Now let's be real. Ryan, if he sent you this, you would feel some sort of way. And then she was even saying she was leaving CNN studios. He chased her down to get a picture. Why are you taking a picture with a woman you called a racist and a bigot? And why are you telling her that y'all look good together in pictures? You're a married man. I think it is. I think it is what she stated that it was. I think it is what she said it was. It's all a show. It's all a show. I'm telling you guys, the way the Republicans were running to get a picture with Obama, it was the best description that I could give you is the way that they were running to Obama and to take pictures is the way that celebrities during commercial breaks were running to Beyonce during the Grammys. She had a whole receiving line. That's what it was like for Obama. And I'm just like, why are you here if y'all don't like that guy? Because it's all a farce. It's all a show. It's all a show. Yep. It's only to get people riled up. They do not believe the stuff that they are saying at all. They do not believe that. Same bird. They're just playing the American people. Yes. Did a whole post about how Black women are amazing and how much he loves Black women, and that's why he married a Black woman. Pace URL said, LOL, we're not a part of the club because ain't no way I could be so friendly with the Republican. They're all friends. They're all friends. They all hang out. They all hang out. I hate to say it. She ate. When she pulled them papers out, I was just like, yeah, she ate. She ate. Wait a minute. No, I'm not. They went up $40. I am not upgrading StreamYard. They're out of their minds. They are out of their minds. Rain says, my high school government teacher said a lot of them used to be neighbors. A lot of them have since moved back to their state, but there's history. They all work together. They're all friends. Yep. Mama Star said, just like judges, lawyers, and prosecutors. Absolutely. Smithy said, this explains why everyone is friendly with George Bush. None of them are against each other. I'm telling you, it is just a racket by the 1% to just have us all fighting each other so we don't get anything done. Candace said, I disagree. I don't think she exposed anything. What woman in this live hasn't been hit on in secret? Please, who cares? I'm still trying to figure out why it's important to document in Congress. It's not, right? But here is where America is going, right? Here's where Congress is going. I knew that we were getting very low after bleach blonde, bad built at Marjorie Taylor, and I forget Jasmine Crockett, I believe, when they started going at it, I was just like, this is what we're going to continue to see. Here is why we're going to continue to see that, because these people are performers. A lot of these politicians are performers. They couldn't make it in Hollywood, but they can make it in American politics. So it wasn't relevant, but that's where we're at this point. Katie said, I had to click on this live simply based on the title. Thank you for being here. Sade said, Dyson's thoughts on Drake, the Kendrick situation, maybe put him on ice, and now this. I think he was trying to creep with the least expected suspect, and it backfired. Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's how it always goes, right? That's how it always goes. And I'm telling you, he's going to change his thoughts on the Drake and Kendrick situation when everything starts going more and more into Kendrick's favor, especially after the Super Bowl. Here's why. He's a performer. He goes with whatever his audience wants is where he would go. He's lost all credibility. Jasmine says, makes sense since MTG should have been censored for her comments, but yet she stays in office and no one confronts her because this is their stage. And we are their unwilling audience. Hey, In Yarden, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Candace said they used to be able to get along personally, but policies are very different. They are not the same. They're not, the policies are not the same. The politicians, my own eyes, from what I witnessed, I have to disagree. Katie says, Nikki, what do you think of Issa versus Amanda Seales? Here's the thing. Not a lot of Black women in Hollywood can get as far as these two have been able to get. I hate the fact that there's any kind of beef, but I'm not going to add any gasoline to it. I want this to die away silently. And if they can't move and if they can't work together, I would just rather them not talk about each other because it's not a lot of us. We don't have a lot of opportunities. We don't need to be fighting each other. It's not good. It's not good for Hollywood. It's not good for Black Hollywood. It's not good for their audiences that love them and love their work. I hope they fix it. Mama Star said Crockett meant what she said. That was not an act. I believe it, right? I believe she meant what she said. I don't believe that was an act. I do believe that her actions afterwards gave me pause. As soon after that, you're selling T-shirts with beach bad built. Like, come on. Like, there's no jobs. We can't find housing. I just feel like there needs to be a status in with concerning our politicians. But I'm telling you, ever since the election of Donald Trump, all of that has been eroded. Hey, Miss Kaiser Soze, thank you for being here. Just Johnda said, while it's true that many of us have been hit on, it's not okay. It's a very thin line from being hit on to being harassed, coerced, and much darker. I absolutely agree. We're going to end with Rain. Rain says, honestly, I do worry a little. I think a lot of them were theater kids who weren't allowed to perform. These new folks, they perform their truth. I will agree. I agree. America has absolutely lost the plot. We're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of this. Now that Nancy has introduced, oh, we're pulling out Twitter messages, just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. Now let's move on to a subject that I am absolutely heartbroken to speak about, but I have to. I love her. I've loved her since I was a kid. Everything that is coming out about her is breaking my heart. Is breaking my heart. Let's get into it. This is from USA Today. Naomi Campbell banned from charity role for 5 years after financial investigation. Naomi Campbell is barred from serving as a charity trustee for 5 years after a United Kingdom watchdog group found evidence of financial misconduct at the model's charity, Fashion for Relief. The UK's Charity Commission released a report Thursday, noting in a release that the charity was poorly governed and had inadequate financial management. Its investigation found the charity spent less than 9% of its earning on grants and causes, and that some of the charity expenses were not reasonable. This includes a stay at a five-star hotel and security for Campbell during an event at the Cannes Film Festival in 2018, as well as spa treatments, room service, and the purchase of cigarettes. USA Today has reached out to Campbell's rep for comment. Two of Campbell's co-trustees, Bianca Helmick and Veronica Chow, were also barred from serving as trustees for 9 and 4 years, respectively. The Charities Commission's investigation found that Helmick received over $388,000 in consultancy fees, which were unauthorized by the commission. The commission noted Fashion for Relief failed to manage partnerships with the charities Save the Children Fund and Mayor's Fund for London. The commission brought in interim managers to make outstanding payments to the charities, totaling $460,000. The inquiry and the work of the interim managers were appointed to run the charity in places of the trustees has resulted in the recovery of almost $400,000 and protection of a further $100,000 charitable funds, said Tim Hopkins, Charities Commission Deputy Director, in a release statement. I am pleased that the inquiry has since seen donations made to other charities, which this charity has previously supported. Fashion for Relief, which was officially registered in 2015, a decade after its founding, was dissolved and removed from the country's register for charities this March. The legendary British model founded Fashion for Relief in 2005. Its website said it's been supported by many important humanitarians, including Ebola crisis and Hurricane Katrina and other causes like Time's Up. Speaking with the Associated Press on Thursday in Paris, Campbell said, I found out today about the findings and I am extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. She was made a Knight of the Order of Arts and Letters at the French Ministry for Culture Thursday night. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, she continued. So we are investigating to find out what and how, as everything I do and every penny I've ever raised goes towards the charity. Naomi. It's just not looking good. It's just not looking good. Like every week, there's something else that's coming out about her. And I'm like, little Nikki is so heartbroken. I remember seeing this woman, this beautiful chocolate woman, walking down the runways of like all of like the big name designers back in the day, like when I was a kid. I remember the models of the 90s. I remember her being in the center of it. And I was just so enamored by her. And just like hearing all of these things, and not even hearing, reading, and I just was reading an article about her receiving a blood diamond from some corrupt African leader. And I'm just like, what is going on, Naomi? I know I don't know her, but I'm so heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken because I really thought that, I don't know. I didn't know her, but I didn't think that she would be this bad. I did not think that she would be this bad. And just hearing all of these things and now reading this article, it's like, girl, what are you investigating? What are you investigating? If they have this information, they've already done the investigation. They have the receipts. They even got your receipts down to you buying cigarettes. When you have a charity, you are not supposed to use those things on you. Yes, you pay the people who are working, but that's it. Not even 10% of what you are getting in as charitable donations are going to your charitable cause. Why are you're a Naomi Campbell, right? If you were doing something for your charity and you need to stay at a 5-star hotel, I absolutely understand that. But there should be some kind of discretion on how you spend on you. The luxuries that you are used to having, great. You keep them, you pay for them. But when it is concerning a charity, there is a way that you have to at first look and see, is this necessary? And I don't think she did that. I think she kept up her lifestyle while paying herself through the charity, and it's just not looking good. I don't know what's going to be said about her next week. I don't know what's going to be said about her next week because they keep on trying to pin trafficking on this woman, and I'm like, not Naomi, not Naomi. This is killing me. The internet age said, I would have thought she would have found a rich. What is going on? Look at this mug. The mug is still mugging. What is going on? JLB said, when I found out she referred to Diddy as her brother, I started to worry. Critical Thinker said, no one made us want the look like Naomi stumping it out on the runway. Her walk, nobody's catching her. Nobody has topped that walk yet. Like, I just feel like all of this stuff that's coming out about her, for me, I'm like, none of it was necessary. You're Naomi Campbell. Like, none of this stuff was necessary. Why are you receiving blood diamonds? You're Naomi Campbell. And now I hate to say it, but I'm just like, what the Nelson Mandela? What was going on with you and Mr. Mandela? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm questioning everything. I'm questioning everything. Give me shelter. Said I'm starting to think that modeling. This is too much. This is too much. Give me shelter. Says someone should have told Danielle Cabral about using charity donations on her Forever 21 outfits. Oh my gosh. But you know what? As we have learned, a lot of people, a lot of celebrities get charities, celebrities, rich people or whatever, get charities and use them as money laundering schemes. Just Johnda said, most of your charitable donations go towards operational costs and administrative fees. Some are just craftier at how they cover it. Raise 10 million to cover wasting 8 mil. If you raise 1 mil and wasted 850K, you can't hide your nonsense as well. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Just Johnda said, Naomi is fierce, and I love her for that. The issues related to the charity are not surprising. Her reputation for entitled behavior precedes her. While she is nowhere near the only head of Glad stuff is wild. She is famous, so she stands out. Absolutely. But I'm like, what are you investigating? Why did you buy cigarettes with charity money? Like, don't do that. But like, I know that, and I'm not Naomi. Miss GG88 said, I always wondered how she keeps living that lifestyle. When you spend money like that, it goes fast, so you have to find a new source of income. Absolutely. Absolutely. The internet said, I'm not surprised by Naomi, considering the people she hangs out with, plus how else does she win? Yeah. Some people said Naomi has always been kind of awful. That doesn't mean she isn't beautiful, like real life Maleficent. You know, I was standing with her with that phone debacle with her assistant. but it's just like, Naomi, how much can somebody stand? It's something every week. It's something every week. Ryan said the blind items are starting to come true about Naomi. Like, please, I knew she was but it's getting out of hand. That's the thing. It's like, you hear rumors and you're just like, oh, you guys are jealous. You guys are this. Then you like see full-blown articles, people doing the research. I am popular today. People are doing the research, they're connecting the dots, and I'm like, everybody is investigating you. It can't be jealousy. It can't be jealousy. It can't be jealousy. Like at some point, it gotta be something else. Indy said, speaking of charity, Nikki, have you seen the sneak peek of Love the Lockup with Z and Troy going to their nonprofit? When she said, meet with our staff, and there was only 2 people there, and I assumed they volunteered. I did not see that. They have a charity? Everybody's money laundering but me. Dahlia said, what is going on with our Black celebs? They're all going to jail. Where are the white and brown criminals at? They're smarter, right? They're smarter, especially the white ones. They're smarter by propping up minorities to take the fall. Right? You just throw them a couple mil while you get a couple bill, and they take the fall and your hands are clean. It happens every time. It happens every time. People from marginalized communities, Black people, people of color, y'all start getting in bed with these alabaster demons, thinking that you're the good one, you're the special one, you're the chosen one. They won't do you like they'll do to others because you're special. Okay. Did he looking up at a jail cell? You're not special. You're just stupid. You're gullible. You're an embarrassment to your ancestors. They gave you the plan, and you crumbled it up for a couple mil. Can't enjoy it in jail. You can't enjoy it in jail. I think I got that one. The waiting room said, I thought I was the only one who thought Naomi and in the beginning I was like, oh my God, that's her, she said that's her father. And now I'm just like, what's going on? What is going on? That one shot that Cat Williams talking about secrets being exposed in 2024 and seeing it happen got my head spinning. My thing is, I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to come out during the holidays, and I'm just like, please send that mess in 2025. Let us enjoy the holiday season. Dahlia said, Candace Owens better hope she's not next. She needs to distance herself from, she's going to fall. She's falling now. She tried to pander to the Black community. It didn't work, so she's going back. She has already disregarded her base, already went after the people that platformed her, and because she hoped that the Black community will restore her. What she does not know is the Black community only restores Black men. Black straight men. Okay? She didn't know that. You're so removed from the Black community, you didn't know how they operate. Now you're out there looking foolish. Indy said, fam, Naomi has millions from decades of modeling and the covers and advertising, the commercials, etc., and billionaires she's dated. She got settlement for her time being wasted. Was that her or Mariah Carey? I will say this. The models are not making money. The models are not making money. The models are not. I think it was Christy Turlington who was talking about how much models make and how a lot of times when they do those photo shoots, they're not making anything. A lot of times those photo shoots are, what do they call it? Exposure. They're doing it for free in exchange for exposures. That's why the models of the 90s, when they start demanding, when Linda Evangelista was just like, I'm not getting out of bed for less than $1 million, that was a huge thing because up until then, models were not making any money. Naomi, Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, all those girls, they were the ones who started making money at that time in the 90s because they were linking up. They linked up and was just like, we are going to work together, right? But then everybody started to, I won't say everybody, but I will say a lot of the major fashion brands, they linked up and they band together and they started saying all of these negative things about these models, saying they're hard to work with, they're difficult. And then they started platforming younger models, newer models who would take the work for nothing or less than what the big models of the 90s were requiring. And that bad press actually worked, which is why I didn't believe a lot of bad press about Naomi Campbell in the beginning, because it was happening to all of those models. And it was happening because they were finally demanding the right amount of pay for their work. Because of that bad press, all of them stopped getting paid what they were getting paid. A lot of them stopped making the money they were making. And a lot of them ended up marrying tender-eyed billionaires, because they did not have any money. They were either dating tender-eyed billionaires or rock stars who were constantly cheating on them, because the modeling wasn't working out. So you basically go to escorting at this point. And that's how they were able to maintain some kind of wealth and status, by marrying up. But these girls were making money back in the day. So because of that bad press, you have models today on all of these covers not making nothing. You have supermodels living in studio apartments, sleeping in bunk beds. They're not making money. A lot of them are not getting paid to walk those runways. A lot of them are flying themselves out, walking in Paris Fashion Week for free. Now, Naomi, she in some mess, right? But her and the models of the 90s, Naomi, Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, Dimple, I forgot Dimple, not Dimple Mole. They all band together and they were getting money. They were getting money. But the bad press, the fake bad press, preceded them, and it got their coin snatched. And now every other model was suffering. The models are not making money, guys. They are not making money. Just Johnda said, people assume that Naomi has money. She lived bigger than she made. Andre Leon Talley situation. Yep. They are propped up to look pretty next to money. It's not their money. Yep. Yep. A lot of these people are just showing up, especially got red carpets. People are not getting paid to do red carpets. They're just showing up because they need to stay in the press, but they are not getting paid to do any of that stuff. Tia Bia said, yet they keep saying Kendall Jenner is the hugest paid model. You guys believe anything from them people? I don't believe anything from the Kardashians. The same people who paid paparazzi to film them for years and still do. I don't believe anything they say. Though you look through their followers, the majority of their followers are paid for. They are the ultimate scammers. The ultimate scammers. Ryan said, yeah, there's always a white man behind the mess, or that colonizer mindset gets to them, and that's where they get in trouble. Cough, cough, Diddy, Clive Davis. Yep. And now Clive Davis acting like his mind ain't right. Clive Davis acting like he don't know what's going on or where he at. No, Clive. What happened to Whitney? That's what they do. Hugh Hefner gave up the ghost. When everything was coming down, them feds was knocking at his door, Hugh Hefner said, well, you know what? I've had a time. It's time for me to go. Just Johnda said, there are tons of white and brown criminals getting hit. Black media doesn't report those cases. The cases involving Kimora Lee's husband was huge for years. Our media didn't notice until Kimora. I agree. I agree. It always happens. It always happens. The devil always collects. All of those step and fetchits never get it. They have the same fate. They have the same fate, but they never get it. They never get it. Yeah. Chris Michelle has not done half the things that black male celebrities have done who have supported Trump. And that woman can sing. She is a talent. A talent. She can't get on no stage. But Ice Cube, gonna eat forever. Gonna eat forever. We protect the men. We let the women and children die, leave them for dead. Art World said all the black celebs are being exposed to take the heat off the white scammers and abusers. It happens every time. I wouldn't be surprised if Orange's face was spilling tea. Absolutely. He was a celebrity first before he became a politician. So he knows the game. That's the thing. The guy is not dumb. The guy, he's playing, this game that he's playing is phenomenal. He's a huge liberal. Huge liberal. The way he is pandering to the ignorance and the racism of the Republican Party, chef's kiss. He knows what to do. He's been a celebrity his whole life. His whole life. Remember, do y'all remember being kids seeing this man in Home Alone? He was a celebrity then, in the 80s. He was a celebrity then. He knows this game. Yep. And that's what I'm telling you, I have to find the documentary that I watched. That's what happened. They started pandering to young starlets and got them to replace models because models were asking for too much money. Child. Yeah, they don't make money. They do not make money. That's why if you see your favorite supermodel and all of a sudden she starts dating a golem, no, she's broke and rent is due. Rent is due. Allegedly her net worth is 60 million. You know, I don't believe that because I Googled the net worth of this guy that I had a crush on and I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way that's his net worth. They be lying. They be lying. Dahlia said Paulina Poroskova married the wrong rocker. Now she's crying because the men she liked don't want her. Oh, child. Cindy Crawford. That's what I'm talking about. Cindy Crawford. They were superstars. And at times they became bigger than the fashion houses. And the fashion houses got together and said, absolutely not. And shut it down. Dahlia said, y'all, Naomi is making money, but she's spending more than she's making. She doesn't have good money management skills. Here's the thing. To keep up with that lifestyle, you have to make the same amount of money yearly. But this is what happens in entertainment. One year, you may make 20 mil. Next year, you might make 200K. Working in this industry as a gig to gig employee, you're a contract employee. So you have to manage every dollar like it's the smallest amount of money you got. You have to. Unless you have a 9-to-5 with a bi-weekly check, your management skills as a contractor has to be out of this world. Well, yes, Cindy Crawford is a different situation because her husband was able to become best friends with George Clooney, and they were able to get that tequila that is making a lot of money. That's a different situation. It's not the norm, right? It's not the norm. Just Johnda, Jerry Hall, Iman, and Tukey were not married to rock stars and famous. They don't make that money. They don't make that money. Dahlia said, Kathy, I thank you for bringing her up. Kathy Ireland and Armand are the only models to make more money now. They were smart to pivot to beauty and business. Absolutely. Kathy Ireland, I think our couch, the couch we have I think it's a Kathy Ireland couch. She was smart. There's another one. I think her name is Josie Moran. She's another one who pivoted to beauty. But at that time, a lot of models weren't thinking about that. They were just thinking about, I got to get a check today. Let me hop on this ugly billionaire. Robert Reed said, I don't understand why these people think they have it like that. Even if the money was good for Campbell in the 90s, her career is not where it was in the 90s, but the price of life also isn't there. You got to keep up with the Joneses, especially if you're working in Hollywood. There are so many people going in debt. There are so many people living off of credit cards and having to get out of that place because it is far too expensive because they have to try to keep up with a lifestyle because you are not going to get in unless you look like you're already there. And thankfully, I think that is dying out because people are like, we can't fake like we got money anymore. It's too much. It's too much. Just Johnda said, Jerry Hall is the GOAT when it comes to models marrying money. She went from Mick Jagger to Rupert Murdoch. If she teaches a class, I will be the first in line. Her and Lisa Bonet. Indy said, Nikki, do you remember the Fashion Cafe? It was launched at the end of the 90s. It was Naomi and a few others. There was even one in London. I do. The NNH said, I don't want to hear a Chingy song after that Trump mess. Not what I was hearing. Not that I was hearing them before. Well, he dropped out because he got cussed out. And I was actually going to let that slide with Chingy because he needs the money. He needs Chingy is not going to be able to apply to be a supervisor at Walmart, guys. He needs that check, but he understood his fan base. Dahlia said the Trumpers are melting down right now because they just realized they got played on pro-life issues. They're so upset because they won't vote for Kamala. You got played by the biggest comment in history. Oh, yeah. That video gets played all the time. They don't believe it. They say, oh, it's AI. Now that's AI? Give Me Shelter said they've been tearing up Ice Cube on Twitter. His fan base is strictly 60-plus-year-old white men like Bill Maher. Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Blue just said, I like attention and money, but I don't think sometimes we got to go back to the regular grind. I think it would be cute if someone went to college and got business degrees. It would be. It would be. Callie Steve is here. Callie Steve said Jerry Hall got $250 million from a Rupert Murdoch divorce. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. I want to get two more, and then we're going to move on to the mess. Just Johnda said, Callie Steve, Jerry Hall secured her retirement from that old Scrooge. I'm not mad at it, right? Because, come on. Rupert Murdoch is 2,000 years old. Jerry Hall wasn't doing nothing. She was just being a trophy wife. Kathy Smith said Iman was smart also. She unleashed an empire on QVC, and her beauty band did so well also. And she still has David Bowie royalties. Here's the thing with Iman. I'm so mad about her makeup line. That's when I started to first get into makeup. Her foundation was the best foundation I've ever, it matched my skin flawlessly. She just has been so irresponsible with that makeup line. You can only get it on Amazon. And I don't even know if it's the brand selling it. It's just somebody who kept the foundation is now selling it. I don't know if that stuff is expired. I'm telling you, I used to go to CVS and get her makeup all the time. She needs to bring that back. Cloud said Naomi never had the makeup contracts, the Coke commercials, the House of Fashion TV show, the workout videos that other supermodels in the 90s had. There's a reason Cindy and Claudia are good. I think what happened was she just didn't want to do that stuff, right? I think for her and a lot of models, they thought that modeling was going to last forever. They didn't, not forever, but they thought that they would continue to make the money that they would make. But I'm just you're working in a misogynistic industry. As soon as you start looking like a woman, you're done. You're done. Poor management skills, poor career planning, and getting up and under and around the wrong men. Naomi, I'm disappointed. Oh, God, let's move on to baby millennial foolishness. Cardi, Offset, take us out the group chat immediately. Take us out of the group chat. Nobody should know all y'all business like this. And you don't even have to go and find it. Y'all are telling everybody. Y'all are telling everybody. This is the best case for not getting married before 30 that I've ever seen. These two are just so young and rabid and foolish and messy. Every time he cheats, it's a whole meltdown. It's a whole meltdown. Let's get into it. So we found out that Cardi B cheated because Offset told us. Then we find out what happened because Cardi got up on Instagram while she was in the studio and told us everything. I only got a couple clips because it was too much. It was just too much. She hopped on live like she always does and she released her business. Let's go.
Taking shit that I fucking work.
Sorry, hold time out. I forgot. This is Cardi B, so it's a lot of language. Language. If the kids are in the room, move the babies back. A lot of language. You've been warned. Let's go.
For you want to play those games with me? We're gonna play them games too. We're gonna play them games too. Since you want to fucking threaten me, talking about you want to take my shit. You want to take my shit because I'm moving on? Move on. Move on. Why can't you move on? Why can't you move on? It's no fun when mama got the gun, right? It's no fun when I'm slanging pussy, right? Now we're going to court war, right? And I told you, get off my phone. Give a fuck. I'm tired. Look at the bitches that I'm fucking. I'm gonna fuck all your ups. I'm gonna fuck. Matter of fact, oh, look at this. I don't want to see it. So what? You was gonna fuck them anyways, nigga. All you gotta do is get fucking drunk. And them bitches gonna throw you that pussy for 2,000. Bitches gotta survive out here. Bitches gotta survive out here, nigga. Oh, now I'm gonna fuck them bitches. Now I'm gonna fuck bitches. Okay, you could do that. You was gonna do it regardless. You go to a club and you probably get drunk. You give them bitches 2,000 and you was gonna fuck them regardless. Them hoes gotta survive. These hoes is hungry out here. We in a recession, baby. Them hoes gotta get fucked. They gotta get paid. Do that. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, I'm a watch what I'm gonna do to you. Watch what I'm this, that, blah, blah, blah. You already done it all. You already done it all. You already done it all. You done it all. You done it all. You done it all. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me. You done it all, so I don't care. I don't. Thank you for my kids, though. All 3 of them. I don't regret none of them. But I regret you. I don't regret my kids. You're good, Daddy. You all right. I don't regret them. None of them. Not none of them. But fuck you. I regret you. I'm too good for you. I always been too good for you. You know I'm too good for you, nigga. And I don't ever. I never even wanted to get on this social media because I don't want to turn off the next nigga off because this is not my type of shit. This is not my type of shit. I don't ever want the next nigga to ever think that I'm a messy bitch. But you want to be a messy nigga and do petty shit because you hurt? All right, we gonna do it then. Let's go lick for lick. Let's go wrong for wrong. Let's go hit for hit.
She said lick for lick. So then she started going off on Instagram. This is, I'm not Instagram, I apologize, Twitter. She said, you cheated on me years after years. The only difference is you got caught. I didn't. You would be even more butthurt if you knew the relationships me and TIK had before he passed. Rest in peace to the only real N-word from the group. I miss those nights. Then he responds and he says, listen to your people. Taking the bros told me. And this is from one of the content creators I love, Jamisa Thomas. She says, listening to everybody but your vows. And then he Offset responds to a post on Instagram about him in a Cardi B situation. And he says, everybody can see I don't want you. It's okay. I'm not talking about this anymore. No more. All love. You will be calling me after a couple of months. You, my baby mom, I won. This is what I will say. These two are still very young. And their relationship has always been toxic before they even got married. So I would say just give it time because they just might reconcile and get back together because it's been like this for a very long time. I will say this is the first time that Cardi is speaking out the way that she is speaking. So it seems like she might be serious, or this could be a promotion for her new music because she also premiered new music, and here it is.
Don't fuck on anything. These niggas way too easy. Good for nothing, low down dirty dog. I'm convinced. Next time you see your mama, tell her how she raised a bitch. I'm going out. Sorry, cause it's hot out. You was playing games. You on timeout. Where them fine niggas? I'm trying to find niggas. I've been cuffed up too long. Let me remind niggas.
I will say it's a hit. I will say this, it's a hit. The album seems like it's going to do very well because she's going on. It appears like the rollout is going to be, I'm doing me now. Sick and tired of being treated like this by this dude who I love. And so I think if that's where her album is going, very Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
Mama Star is here. Hold on.
I've been
hold on. Very Mary J. Blige of hip hop. I can see her doing very well. I do hope that this is it for her. Here is why. She's been in court fighting the women that he has been cheating with. A lot of women who want to undermine her knows that her husband is an easy lay, so they use him to get under her skin and to rattle her. I do think that her moving on is a better situation for her and their children. If we're keeping a buck. I hope this is it, but she's very, she's been with this guy for long part of her 20s. She's married to him. They could spin the block as they have often. And even he says in his response to her, well, you'll be calling me in a few months and I won anyway. You're my baby mom, meaning that he has 3 lifelines to her, right? So it could appear that when she gets fed up and she feels like she's done, that he may be weaponizing his sperm and impregnating her to keep a lifeline and attachment to her. This is an unfortunate situation, but we've been here with this couple before. It's that's why I'm just like, guys, take us out the group chat, go to therapy, talk to your pastor, remove us from the conversation. We don't need to be in your business like this. Mama Star, what do you have to say?
First of all, I tried to be quiet with this whole situation. I tried not to even, I just wanted to leave it alone, but I can't. Number one, there are 3 children involved between them 2, and then she has a relationship with his other 10 kids. So all these kids are involved with this, whatever they do. All right. Now, as a mother, I don't have any sons, but if I had a son, I would grip him by his neck. Offset, I'm talking about. Because you do not talk like that about your wife and your the mother of your children, because you have daughters as well. And would you like someone to speak to your daughters like you're doing and embarrass them? Number 2, he's hurt. That's why he's doing it. Because she's never stood up to him like this. Because this last pregnancy, she was quiet. Whatever he was doing, and she didn't say anything. And one thing about it, when a woman gets fed up, when she gets fed up, it's like blowing up dynamite. Because she's on fire now. She said, I'm tired. That's one of the quotes that she said, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Because she has taken that for so long. And don't take this as a racist statement. A lot of Latina people that I know, I grew up with them. I went to school with them. The women stay with their men. They're taught to keep the family together. And that is a reason, I believe, why she hung in there this long. Because they don't just leave. They keep the family together. They keep the kids together. They work through what they're working through, and they go back. So I believe that that's why she stayed there. If you realize her grandmother and her grandfather is still together, her mother and her father is still together, but not together. You know what I mean? They are taught to keep the family unit together. So that's why I believe she hung around as long as she hung around. But the biggest thing that I want to tell Cardi, I don't care what you saying or what you trying to get back. You never reveal that you cheat. A woman never admits to that. Don't ever say that. I don't care if it's 99 years later. Nope, I didn't do it. I was faithful. So remember that, ladies. Anyway, I gave y'all that one for free. But anyway, I don't like what she's doing. But if it's, ain't no but, I don't like what she's doing. If she's promoting her new album, oh, that's already sold out.
Oh yeah,
That's already platinum, double platinum, triple platinum, diamond, and all these things. Because you were so on point. You took my stuff. This is a Mary J. Blige rap album. Because she's putting it out there how she's been hurt.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I looked that up. You are right, Jasmine. I apologize, guys. The tweet that I shared about Cardi talking about Offset takeoff was fake. It didn't sit right with my spirit. I was just like, I don't think that she would say this, but I wasn't. There was a lot going on. I wasn't sure, but thank you so much, Jasmine. And I do apologize for sharing that. I'll be better about the information that I share here on forward. But thank you all so much for catching that.
Thank you. Also,
continue.
I didn't believe it either.
Yeah, I was just like, it doesn't sound like her, but I don't know.
Nobody from his family responded to that.
Okay.
But they did respond to what Offset said, his brother. So I just didn't really believe that either because she's not that kind of a girl anyway. Cardi, I don't believe that she's really cheating or she slept with somebody while she was pregnant. You know, if she's entertained somebody, yes. But I don't think she really did as a woman. I don't really believe that. But it was enough to shatter his cage. And that's what she wanted to do. And whatever evidence that she had, maybe he called and somebody was there or something. Whatever she's using it up. Also, I just for her, she got a really good career. She did the Whitney effect. She downplayed herself a little bit to, big her man up and to bring her man. Because when he was a lonely bird when he was out of the group, and she did everything she could to bring him and keep him relevant in the news and on socials and things like that. She did everything to help him. She stopped really a lot of things that she was doing for him and all of that. She's always been the bigger star. The Migos came out subsequently to her, but she was by herself. Offset was with a group. And she, if you really want to go, she helped promote them because she was hot. And at all of them awards, she kept on saying, because you. After this, they said, are you happy? She said, I'll tell you after me and him after this and all that. She really gave him a lot of play. Also, I want to say this to y'all ladies. I blame her for all the cheating. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not all of it, but I'm going to blame her and I'll tell you why. Never bring another woman into your bedroom. I don't care what you're into. Her and Offset used to go to the strip club and pick out a woman and go back and have her. Them women know how to hook you up or hit you up on the side and say, it's me and you. And you can't be mad at nobody because you and him was and you was asking him, we gonna take her back home and y'all doing X, Y, and Z. Never bring no another woman into your bedroom. That freakiness, take that off the list because that will get you, I don't care how much money you got. That'll get you taken all the time because men is men. And guess what? When that thing get hard, it don't have a brain. And when a woman that's a side piece that's trying to be the main piece, she got some skills and she gonna put them down. You got all them kids, you ain't ready to do all this stuff that he wanna do, all that nasty stuff, because you're a mother, you're working, you're doing this, you did all that stuff before, you don't want to do it on a daily basis, so he calling a freak and she's ready. And then she'll take the place, and then he's always outside because he always can call somewhere. And all them girls in that entertainment business is nasty and slimy, and they will sleep with your man. Trust me, ask Beyonce.
Oh, you always like to bring her in this.
No, I don't always like to bring this in here. I like to tell the truth. So that's what I had to say on it. You know what I mean? Because people don't want to tell the truth, and people don't like to say what's up. You bring somebody into your bedroom, daughters. This is going to happen every time. I don't care who you are. Michelle Obama don't bring nobody in that bedroom.
What? Okay. Okay. Now you're going off course.
We have a scandal on Barack, and we don't need that.
No, we're not.
Don't bring it.
We're not.
Buying your little stuff and doing your little stuff. What you did to get them, keep doing it. And that's what Mama got to say.
Thank you, Mama. Missy said, I wonder if Offset realizes he gets more women because Cardi is his wife. He doesn't. He doesn't. Like, men like this do not get it. They do not get that the wife is the star. The wife is what is attracting other women, right? Because of what she brings to the table, how she makes you look. And a lot of these women do not realize until they get with the man that they should have been trying to get with the wife, because she is the actual star. She is the actual one that is soaring. He doesn't know it, but the women, they're absolutely attracted to him because of Cardi.
And then he
absolutely
she's doing a live, so he gonna come in on live. They're fighting on this live.
He kept on calling her phone. That's why her live kept on stopping.
And he is making he looks sad. Every time you see his pictures, he looks sad. He's not happy with whatever he was doing. He went and did all of that stuff, and now he's sad. So now he's trying to hurt her. Oh, you'll be calling me back in 3 months. And you my baby mom. That's it right there. You know what I mean? She should have not entertained him and said, look at you now. You sweating me now. She shouldn't have dealt with that online. She went back and forth because there's still feelings there. Mm-hmm. He went back and forth because there's still feelings there. And I agree with you, Nikki. Don't y'all start. I'm not getting on another live and nothing like that when they get back.
I just want them to take us out of it. I want them to take us out of it. Like that's why he said, I won. Mm-hmm. You're my baby mom.
Yeah.
To disparage her because she's his actual wife. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to insult her in that way. Yes.
You can't go nowhere.
Yes, because he has 3 lifelines.
Yep.
He has 3 lifelines.
He want to see it.
Yep. And that's what he's going to do. I want to now he want to see it. Yes.
I want to see my son.
Let me see my son. Let me see
and I need to spend time with my son. I'm a good dad.
Yeah.
And she said that. Mm-hmm. You are a good dad.
But how are you a good dad if you're constantly cheating on the child's mother? How are you a good dad if you're constantly having his mother in misery? You can't be a good dad and be a terrible. You can't be a good dad and be a terrible partner.
Trying to get the parents to see the kids right now.
Oh yeah, he's going to use that as a way.
Yeah, of course.
He's going to use that as a way.
My baby mom, I won. Because you can't go nowhere.
Yeah, and it sounds as if it was deliberate.
Yeah, and guess what? She ain't cheating. She just had a goddamn baby. If you're a woman that just had a baby.
Well, he said you F somebody while pregnant.
She didn't, but she alluded to that.
Yeah.
She needed to do that to give him something. Mm-hmm. Yes, she didn't do that. I'm a woman that's been pregnant. You so open, you think about she was thinking about giving him another 10. I seen him in the hospital with the baby and all of that. And they were supposed to be broke up. Come on, give it to somebody else. I've been young, now I'm a little older. Come on, guys. He's trying to get back, and she's acting like she did when he came to her show with all them roses and all that on stage and all that he did. I want you back. I'm coming to get you back. I don't care what nobody say. I'm coming for my wife. So this is all the same thing. He's doing it at another level. Mr. Dum Dum probably ain't even hitting it right.
Okay.
All them girls.
Sasha says she is likely going through postpartum, and this is how
Yeah.
he, as a husband, is doing her. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
It's unfortunate.
It
It is unfortunate.
It's sad.
It's unfortunate. Oh God.
What? What?
Simply Simone! Simply Simone said, breaking news. People is reporting that Kim Richards is out in a psych hold after Kyle Richards called the cops on her. What?
What? I'm telling you, this social media.
What is going on? And I thought that she wasn't she back on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Kim Richards' confrontation with Kyle after psych hold. I can't. I can't. Mercury is in Microbraids. It's too much. We are wrapping up Cardi. We are wrapping up the offsets because now it's time to get into Eric Adams. I'm going to bring up just Johnda. She is going to... Mom.
Wait a minute. I'm so sorry. You put me on to this.
What?
Superhead is talking.
Mom, first of all, you need to stop following the neighborhood talk. They are messy.
Superhead is talking.
Excuse me.
She was gifted to Diddy.
Anyway.
Superhead is talking.
I am going to bring up just Johnda. She's going to talk.
How powered music is that?
Mom, you need to be getting ready for our live.
I am.
I'm going to bring up just Johnda. She is going to talk about the indictment for Eric Adams. But before I bring up just Johnda, I had to show you guys this because this is why I love New York City. I could never live there because of the rats and because it's sinking, but it's such a beautiful place. I love the culture and fashion in New York, unmatched. So after his indictment, Eric Adams, a mayor, probably former mayor Eric Adams, held a press conference, and this is what happened.
This is not a black day.
Red umbrella. Fabio.
Baby, move.
This is not a black day.
We have cameras.
Americans are here. Americans are here. In this city. Americans are here. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by the police. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us.
New York is sick of that man. They are like both of my best friends. Well, they're not the only ones, but two of my best friends, they live in New York City, and they are just like, everybody's rejoicing. He's terrible. We are so happy that he is finally going down. And my thing is, how did he become mayor? If all of you guys are so happy that he's like out of here, how did this man become mayor? But I do love the fact that whoever had that speakerphone was saying, this is not a black thing. It's not. And I do not want people to turn this into taking down another black man. No, this brother did some stuff, and Just Johnda is here to break it on down. Just Johnda, welcome to the stage. You're on mute.
Okay, I didn't want you hearing the dogs and everything else going on around here.
Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for being here. Please break down this entire indictment and what is going on with this probably former mayor of New York City.
Well, probably, but it is just a mess. And I hope I don't freeze because, as you can imagine, I've got multiple screens going on here because I wanted to make sure that I was ready for the Star fam. So, been a Star fam member myself for many years now. So, wanted to make sure I brought you all the good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Okay, so Mayor Eric Williams, also known as a friend of the Fendi Bishop. So be careful about the friends you keep, because
Yep.
that says a lot about you. So
Mhm.
let's get into this indictment. First and foremost, I don't know if any of you saw the press conference, but my favorite now, maybe a growing favorite for you, U.S. Attorney Mr. Damian Williams himself, it is his office, Southern District of New York, who is handling this case. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, we know that that is the same office and the same U.S. attorney who is dealing with the Sean P. Diddy Combs case. So when I saw him come out, I was like, well, come on.
Yeah.
It's going down. And it is also obvious that it was going to be meticulous. We knew that when we got this indictment, that office was going to go in, and they did not disappoint. 57 pages for this indictment, and they left no stone unturned. So we are going back, the land before time, 2014, before he was, I know, right?
They've
Before
been watching him that long?
at least, I am going to say that it has obviously been since before 2014. Of course, as U.S. Attorney Damian Williams is famous for saying, the investigation is ongoing.
Mhm.
That means all who have information, come knock on our doors, or we're indicting you next.
Yep.
So, and because of the conspiracy aspect of this, it's fair game for everybody. So, just a brief going back in time to 2014. Eric Adams has been all over the scene. At one point, he was even a police officer. Infamously tried to show himself as anti-police, but I'm going to be the inside man who does better, and all of that, which I think was also a part of his mayor campaign. And given everything that's going on in recent years, we understand why people would fall for that, defund the police and all of that stuff. So at any rate, around 2014, he decided, I'm going to run for bureau president of Brooklyn. So this was his way in.
Oh.
Well, his mess started right away. I don't even know why foreign nationals would care. No shade to Brooklyn, but why would the foreign nationals care about you? But apparently they do.
Mhm.
Even as a borough president in Brooklyn, he had a liaison to Muslim countries, a liaison to Asian countries. Did you know all of this goes on if you're a bureau president of Brooklyn?
No idea. But you know what? Do you think
Neither.
that it's because of the massive gentrification that's happening?
Absolutely.
A lot of these people are buying properties and building homes, and I think you're going to get into it, but one of the foreign nationals that was entertaining him, that he allowed them to pass an inspection for a building.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that that's probably what's happening, is the mass gentrification that's happening here. He's allowing these foreign nationals to buy properties, put up these poor properties, cheap properties, and charge astronomical prices.
Absolutely. And I think that this case highlights a lot of issues around foreign national influence, and most importantly, why some other countries are more restrictive about that, because this really does highlight the abuses. And I think you're absolutely right, given the whole issue as it relates to gentrification, or even, I think even from a broader standpoint, New York has always been known to be the ultimate melting pot.
Mhm.
And the celebration of that by different cultures maintaining their autonomy within those cultures, almost encouraging it, which I don't think is a bad thing, encouraging them not to assimilate as much. I mean, enough to function, but maintain who you are. Have little Italy, have little Istanbul, you know, all of these places. And I think as we get deeper into it, it's going to become, at least in my opinion, and certainly for you, because first and foremost, as much as I adore the law, that is my life, I am also, number one, a pop culture junkie. Just like you. So, which is, of course, how I became such a huge fan of your show.
Thank you.
I think because of our knowledge of pop culture in the industry, it's going to become even more clear, at least to me, and of course, our suspicious minds, why Turkey seems to be the place that, hello? Okay, we're both right here. Turkey just is coming up too much. Too many women, too many associates.
Okay.
And why do we need our own buildings? There's a million empty buildings in New York, but you just have to have a 36-floor building that has been deemed to be unsafe open for your party. Your building can be there for your party later on, but why do you need it for this party?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So going back, because, you know, we get excited. We do. Okay. So, going back to 2014, his relationship with these individuals, even as bureau president of Brooklyn, began right away. His first trip that we know of, or at least that the U.S. attorney is telling us about, we know they know more. His first trip with them goes back as far as 2014 to 2015. And he starts being introduced to these people, businessman 1, 2, 3, and 4, way back then. And again, who knew? We're learning so much. Apparently, the Turkish Air is the bomb.
Yeah.
Their business class is their highest class, and flights on Turkish Air when you're in business class can range between $10,000 and $13,000 a seat. Again, what else is going on in Turkish Air besides a seat? I'm leave it alone. Leave it alone, because we know Air Emirates is all that too.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. So anyway, going back and forth to on Turkish Air. In fact, there's a quote by him at one point when someone was like, look, why are we constantly having to go on Turkish Air, even when it's out of the way? There was a trip that they were taking to Easter Island, Chile. We know where Chile is, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you know, sometimes all flights got to go through Istanbul. Now, I'm no geography student, but I do know Chile is probably closer to you and I here in the U.S. than it is to Istanbul, Turkey. But if you got to go that way, then so be it.
Seems like he was having meetings.
Oh, there were meetings.
Yeah.
And so he's being introduced to these people. He's taking friends over, and ever so often they would dump a little money. He would hand off a little money to his assistants and say, make sure that you put a little on the books to pay for this trip. So let's say we're staying in rooms that are running $7,000, $8,000 a night, like when they were in the Bentley suite. Here's 600 on it. You know, he got 5 on it.
Oh, okay. So what was happening was he was using public funds to
or
pay
even as private
trips?
funds, but you have to justify these trips. So whenever or even if not justifying the trips, you got to show where the money's coming from. So just in terms of the law, even because a lot of this relates to election law, things about public officials, or even if you are a public employee, not even the main person, you have to report throughout the year and certainly yearly anything that you received. So it's kind of like Congress people have to report even if school children gave them, $100 gift to thank them for coming to speak at their school. You have to report these things. So if you are receiving gifts like flights, or even upgrades on your flight, that is considered a gift too. You know what? I bought my coach seat. I'm good. Because if you upgrade me, there's a monetary value to that. Now I've got to report that. Well, we know this brother wasn't up. We know for sure.
So question, was he, when he was giving his money to his assistants, was he giving his money to his assistants to cover the gifts so that it wouldn't be seen as a gift?
So it wouldn't be seen as a gift. I paid my own way in the Bentley suite.
Okay.
That 2 days cost $7,000. But I got a discount. It was $600.
Okay.
So absolutely. There was a lot of games played. Sometimes when you read, in reading this, I felt like I was being trolled, because it would say how he would talk to some of the aides, probably the lower level people, to be like, I paid you this money, right? Oh, I was already going to, even though the trip was 2 months ago, I had already left the money in the drawer for you. You just need to put it, you just need to make sure that it's paid to them. Send the Turkish airline or whomever his contact was, send them this $2,000 that's going towards this $20 million, I'm sorry, that's $20,000 trip. So there was a lot of stuff like that. So I think if I break down, and you tell me how you want to do this, if I break down the charges, it will help us to plug in the holes so that you can see what goes with what.
Let's break down charges.
Okay, so right now, because we know that could definitely change. Right now, he has 5 counts.
Okay.
And the 5 counts weave in and out of each other. That's why I'm going to tell you what the counts are. And then we can come back to the fun stuff, which is what he actually did, because then we can plug them in, plug them into the holes. And I often do this on my show as well, because then you can see where they fit.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, this is the catch-all. And this is where they get you. Conspiracy. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to accept campaign contributions from a foreign nation, which we know is definitely a no-no, and conspiracy to commit bribery. So what makes conspiracy a good catch-all is a number of things. Number one, the conspiracy doesn't have to be complete. If you just have the things that a conspiracy requires, which is an agreement between the parties that they're going to do whatever the bad underlying act is, whatever that underlying act is, and any, as we call it, an act in furtherance, which is anything to try to make that act happen. Even if you were unsuccessful at it, the conspiracy is complete.
Oh,
so in simpler terms than this, because this is a little more involved, if you and I agree that we're going to rob the bank, we put our plan in place, and we do our act in furtherance. We show up and we get ready to rob the bank. We get everything involved, and then one of us actually attempts to do it or go into it. Even if we're not successful, the conspiracy is complete. All we did was agree, put the plan in place, and do something to further it. Conspiracy done. So when we see that there are so many text messages, phone calls, everybody who was supposed to be deleting everything, nobody deleted crap.
Stupid.
Even text messages. This is so fun to read, because there's even text messages where bruh would be like, you're deleting this after we finish talking, right? And the person would be like, yup. Well, how did fans get the text if we deleted it?
What, didn't he also delete text messages while he was being investigated? He would excuse himself to the bathroom.
In fact, he was doing stuff right up until until he got arrested.
Oh,
so So
All right.
let's do these. Oh, by the way, I see Love Like You Are. They should have given him a RICO charge. This is not done.
Yeah.
That is that's not to say that, because I actually, when I was reading this, I had racketeering floating through my mind as well. I think that there is a possibility that they are holding off on going full on racketeering based on the witnesses who's cooperating. And again, of course, you've got foreign nationals involved. So whether or not they're going to cooperate. So I think that that may be the holdup on a racketeering charge. But when you go through this, the facts of this case, and we're going to talk about them in a minute, RICO starts ringing in your mind. It definitely does, especially because of some of his underlings. I think there is also probably the concern that some of his underlings, given that he was mayor, were just following orders. So there is, so it brings in the question that's always kind of out there when it comes to RICO. Who was following orders because they were like, this is my job, I'm scared if I don't do it, versus who really participated in the enterprise as a fellow bad actor who, we know this is bad, but I'm good with it because I'm down with it too. So I think that his actual position could be disrupting a possible racketeering, which is helpful to him because the conspiracy count only carries 5 years. So next, wire fraud, another great catch-all, because wire fraud, we saw this with the Jen Shaw case. Wire fraud deals with any scheme where you are trying to obtain property, money, anything by false pretenses or representations made. And it's just, a lot of things can fall under wire fraud, whether it's whether you're doing telemarketing or whether in this case it was soliciting the bribes or any of that, as long as you are doing this or this to get it.
Gotcha.
And so we know they've got the actual text messages. And of course, it doesn't take much of anything to get phone records.
Yeah. Even if you delete them.
And the wildest thing about this is, based on all the offenses so far, the wire fraud carries the highest penalty. Wire fraud is up to 20 years of fine or both. And we know that from our housewives that get caught up in the wire fraud.
Yep.
Okay, Jen Shaw was spectacularly.
Who knew that Jen Shaw was just the tip of the iceberg? Who knew?
Tip of the iceberg. Okay, so and there's a lot that falls under that wire fraud. So I'll touch on that. So just one of the things, we know that he accepted over $100,000 in gifts, in kind things like taking flights and all of that. So because a lot of that was arranged via phone calls, text messages, emails, all of that, that can safely fall under the wire fraud as well. Even some of the things that are connected to the bribery, which is a separate count, that can fall under the wire fraud as well because of how they were doing it. Another piece that falls under the wire fraud, and this hugely, I'm just trying to figure out, was everybody dumb or just...
You know what I think it is? I think it's because as a cop, he got away with a lot.
Yes, it is. It's the audacity of it.
Yes.
It is definitely, because of course it's easy to say, was this dumb? No, it was audacious.
Yeah.
This was just some bold behavior. So one of them that falls under the wire fraud, because they were doing it, again, phone calls and stuff, the straw donations. And there was a lot of double dipping. So everybody's asking, what's a straw donation, right? So a straw donation, I wish they would call it what it was, because it'd be simple, is you getting someone else to make your donation for you. So with the foreign nationals, they can't donate. in our political process at all, for obvious reasons. Why would we want foreign governments or foreign people involved in this? So for them, the way that they would give donations to the election was through other people's names. Or if you've got some business people who have already made donations up to their limit, they'll get somebody else to do it, because this is all about buying influence. But this is what makes this even more insidious in terms of the public trust, and New Yorkers should be really pissed off about it, is New York, unlike a lot of places, we're all learning something new, actually has a matching donations program.
Okay.
And under the matching donations program is actually pretty cool, because it allows regular people to basically make larger contributions. I mean, I guess it's cool, and then it's kind of shaky too. But on the cool side, if your desire is benevolent, then it allows you to make a larger donation to someone who you support because they need it. It takes money to run. Now, on the less benevolent side, it allows people to make larger donations because they're trying to buy more influence. So what does that mean to Mr. Adams? It means that a candidate can file requesting to be a part of this program, which he did for his in 2018 so that he could win in 2021, which he did. And he did it again in 2023 because he's running for office right now for 2025. So it,
I didn't know that. Oh, wait.
Yes. So he's continuing to take money. So what that matching funds does, and this is where people in New York should be pissed, is that they used these straw donations from people they shouldn't have been getting money from. So let's say the Turkish nationals or shady Americans to donate up to $250. But because of the matching funds, you could apply to get matched $1 to $8 per every $1, which means that you could get matching funds from New York of up to $2,000 per person to add to your election coffers. So long story short, he got matching funds on shady money. You double dip. You got shady money through the straw donation. And then you applied to get a matching fund to go with that shady money. And he did it allegedly to the tune of almost $10 million.
Oh my God.
That's not so just to be clear, everybody, that's not even the shady money from the outside folks. So he had that money. He used that money to get money from y'all.
$10 million.
Up to $10 million plus the trips, because we taking flights. He was outside in the biggest way. So now that's wire fraud to the nth degree, because now we're talking about a betrayal of the public trust as well.
Yeah.
And when you have those things, and I can tell you all, is doing criminal defense for over 20 years now, when you have ugly facts like that, those are the things that bump up that sentence.
Yeah.
Those are the things that when your sentencing guidelines are super low because you've never been convicted of a felony before, those are the things where a prosecutor comes in and says, Your Honor, or whomever is the sentencing, if you've got a jury trial or you have the judge, either way, that is a prosecutor's dream. That's when they come in and say, oh yes, they did do all this other bad stuff, but then they betrayed the public trust by taking so much money and doing this and doing that. I mean, and that's when, as a defense attorney, you're sitting there looking at your client like,
wow.
And I have looked at many a client that way. That's the way I would be looking at him, but I would have to reserve it for the office to go, for real? Seriously?
He's just so bold. Like, this is
It
crazy.
is the audacity of it that it's so crazy. So, because again, why are you back and forth to Turkey? You're taking your girls, you're taking whatever. So I'm gonna get through these charges, and then me and you need to talk about Turkey.
Okay.
Number 3. So right now we're at up to 20 years for the wire fraud, 5 years for the conspiracy. Now, solicitation of a foreign national. And there's 2 counts of this, carries up to 5 years. Now, we are prohibited from directly or indirectly. Well, they're prohibited from donating to us, but we are prohibited from requesting donations. Any political party or politician, any of those, if you knowingly and willingly, so we're looking at what the prosecution has to prove, solicited, accepted, received, or for his people, you aided and abetted in those funds coming in, well, you're guilty of that. You're guilty of this charge too. So we have multiple businessmen who are cited. Of course, their names are not cited here. So we have multiple businessmen who have allegedly made these donations. We have whomever runs Turkish Air.
Of course.
We've got that money because of course that's to pay for play in a different way. And then we have direct donations. In fact, there are text messages. There's one in particular that I just pulled, a text message from one of the businessmen who just straight up texted one of the aides that said, "I've made my donation through person number 3. You all good? What you need me to do now?"
Yikes.
Yes. So it is clear, and they're using the language that the prosecution doesn't even have to put in their mouths. I made my donation through person X. So now not only do you have that offense about getting the money from foreign nationals, you not only gotten proof towards that, you also have proof towards the straw donations issue, which goes directly into the wire fraud as well. And the violation of elections rules, because there are election rules that the state of New York can also claim as violations as well. So the ball is rolling well. Another one, another solicitation by a foreign national on or about 2023. So this stuff is going on recently, that he knowingly accepted a contribution, and it looks like almost, it says about $25,000 or more just in that calendar year, between the contributions and the flying back and forth and all of that. So we know that those carry 5 years each. And now the juicy one, bribery. Where is the bribery, right? Because I'm giving you money, but what am I giving you money for? Well, they've broken that down too, because we know Damian Williams in his office does not play. So there are several times in real time that they can show that the same people who gave them money later on said, okay, time to pay up now. So this is one. The Turkish consulate was real pressed about this 36-story building that one of their business people was were building. They contacted him and said, "Look, we've got our, the big dogs coming to town, with the consulate or the whatever, the Grand Poobah, one of them from Turkey is coming to town. We're having this big function. We want to use this building." The fire department of New York, FDNY, is saying, "No, we can't use it." Okay, you're on. And FDNY, or officials from FDNY, because they've cooperated as well, saying, absolutely, he leaned on us and said, get these permits going. This is a building that had not passed inspection, and several of them said it's not passing inspection not because of just time, or they didn't submit the paperwork in time, because that happens, all the red tape. It didn't pass inspection because we don't feel the building is safe. Well, that building was open and the event occurred. Another time they contacted him was, let's see, because it was several. Okay. Another time they contacted him was, and this again, it goes back because they're going to get all your stuff. In 2016, there was, yes, it is very dangerous. In 2016, there was a community center. He had a relationship with a community center in Brooklyn. Well, apparently there was some kind of beef between his Turkish friends and the individuals who ran that building. They contacted him and said, cut off your relationship with them. He did. According to documents, he cut off his relationship with them. I don't know what that means, but the bottom line is they said this person is hostile to us, anti-Turkish forces, whatever. Cut off your relationship. He did. There's another one that folks should definitely be concerned about. There was a political event that, of course, his Turkish friends went to and others. He was contacted after them. And of course, they've got the text messages. He was contacted and they said, we want a list of everybody at that event. You know how crazy that is? Yes. List of people. You think a building possibly falling down is dangerous. Let a list with your names on it, how much you donated and who you donated to, get into the wrong hands.
Wow, that is extremely dangerous.
That is extremely dangerous because
it sounds like a hit list.
Exactly. Because because not only is it concerning that you're giving the list, but why would you ask for a list?
Mm-hmm.
If someone is asking me for something like that, I'm already raising eyebrows.
Yep.
I won't even give somebody a guest list to a charity function that I threw for Jack and Jill. And it might be to another mom. What you need that list for, girl?
Yes.
How about I send those emails?
And how much they paid for what?
Well, the money, but that's the thing. The money is already paid because we've been buying you since 2014. We're already cool. So this is all, the pay for play has already occurred. You're already in our pockets. This is Donald Trump. You're already cool with Putin. We've already been in the hotel room with the women peeing on us. We're good. So all I got to do is ask you for a favor. So these text messages weren't saying, I'm going to give you an additional $5,000 so that you can do XYZ. These text messages were, time to pay up, bruh. This is what we need from you right now.
Wow.
And these are just the things that we know about. We have a text message from Adams himself to a supporter where he says, I have, and this is right around the time with the matching funds scheme. I have a $7 million race. I have a clear plan to raise it. And each night we are out executing the plan.
Break that down.
Well, and I think that this is where the matching funds piece comes in. So long story short, he's running his mouth because clearly he'd like to. I need money. I'm running for mayor, and I'm running for mayor of New York. And this is 2021. So he already knew how much it was going to take because he got elected in 2021. He started running in 2018. So by the time you're elected and you know this is a job you want to keep, because politicians are always running, you're always thinking ahead. He already knows this is how much it already cost me. So I got to get ready. So essentially what he's saying to one of his aides is, we've got a plan. Now we've got to execute. So what did they do? They submitted for those matching funds. Again, this is what the government is assuming. So this is what the government is saying in response to that. Throughout the 2021 campaign, Adams solicited and knowingly accepted straw donations. So this is, again, the straw donations piece, money coming from sources other than who they say. Yeah. Including foreign sources, while continuing to secretly accept free and heavily discounted travel benefits from the Turkish official, the promoter, the airline manager, all of them. So long story short, he's telling on himself. I've got a plan. We got to get this 7 million plus. So every night, let's make these phone calls. Let's get on these texts. Let's call our homies down there at the Turkish consulate. And not to pick on the Turkish, this is just what we know.
Yeah.
That's not to say that there were not other people involved in buying influence, because as you mentioned earlier, there are a lot of people who are building, especially when we talk about that gentrification piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's not us that own these buildings. And I don't mean us as in Black people. I mean us even as Americans.
Yeah.
So we have those pieces. So it is going on and on that he is doing that. So now we're up to a minimum of at least 35 years or more that he could possibly be facing.
And the thing about it is that's so crazy. This is like all written down. Like they have his text. He's doing business through text. Like
his
it's
text
all laid out.
messages, other people who work for him. And let's be clear, the dominoes have been falling long before this, not just because they were building this indictment that goes back with actual information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got pictures of the Bentley suite within the indictment, that like the hotel rooms that he stayed in, they've got pictures of them here, the airlines, all of that. But not only do they have the information for the indictments going against him, but there has been a steady stream of people resigning and or being charged.
Question: does he even have a staff at this point? Because everybody has resigned.
Exactly.
It's just
and I don't think, quite frankly, he cares. I think that he did what a lot of politicians do.
Mm-hmm.
They put their friends in high places.
Yeah.
I think that he, of course, took it more from the Donald Trump school of putting their friends in high places versus other folks who do it more savvy. Mm-hmm. It's okay to promote your friends and put them in these positions because we know everybody does it.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they're qualified. Don't make it, and I saw this even in my hometown of Trenton, New Jersey, when one of our mayors was indicted and went to federal prison in recent years. Don't put your brother, who probably never even worked for the city at all, do not give him a job that puts him in charge of the entire water system.
Yeah.
That's literally what he did. Like, don't make your cousin head of waste management. Don't promote a friend of yours to a judgeship that hasn't even seen a courtroom as an attorney. And in her case, she didn't even have her law license for the 5 years before.
He just put people in office or put people jobs that he can control.
Exactly. And then, and not only that he can control them, but who would be down with the schemes. Because sometimes you may put somebody in office because you can control them, but that you put people in office because you can control them, but that doesn't mean they want to do anything illegal. Yeah. And I think that some of the people who resigned stayed as long as they could. I don't think that everybody was a crook. Yeah. Some people who resigned were like, I know that there are some bad things going on. I tried to overlook it, but I know that this ship is going down. I'm out.
Get out. Yeah.
But then, of course, we know that there's a couple of folks where there were actual indictments.
Yeah.
And those are the folks who are probably holding on to some text messages that just happened to find their way into the proper hands. He doesn't have to look far to know who some of the people are that dropped dimes on him. Anybody who was dealing with you with your mess in 2014 that may or may not still be dealing with you with your mess in 2021, 23, and the present, those are the people who told on you. Mm-hmm. Anybody who you text message and said, did you delete the message? And they said yes. Those are the people who told on you because they didn't.
How does, I don't, it's so sad that this is a mayor of New York City and he does not know that even if you delete a text message, it does not go away.
Doesn't go away. But these people I don't even think they deleted them. And why are you not using encrypted? Why are you not using WhatsApp? Although, you know, now that it's owned by Meta, who knows if that's still the same. But this would have been when WhatsApp, we could kind of depend on the encryption. Why are you not using that? Because we know that people from foreign countries, they live and die by WhatsApp. So what do you do? There's a question here, just Johnda, is disclosure required after the Citizens United decision? Disclosure, this is one of those old school laws here, and I'm not sure, so I guess Nikki will be watching, if you mean disclosure of anything related to foreign nationals or disclosure period, because anything related to foreign nationals, you just shouldn't be doing at all. That's a bright line. But disclosure of gifts, that's old school. That's been around forever, because again, that just goes to the overall question of people having influence. So it's I guess the simplest way to break that down is just like if you have to disclose if someone, because this is all a paper trail, if someone makes a regular, clean, normal political contribution, like right now you get off of YouTube and go donate $20 to your campaign of choice, and that's recorded. Well, this is the same thing, because ultimately we're talking about someone potentially having influence, entree into the back rooms or any of that. And we know that everybody does it. Hello, we have a whole lobbying system. Excuse me. So this is just the poor man's version of that. So that has always been around. And has it always been around that people ignore it? Yes. That's how you get away with stuff. And moving things around, has that always been around? Yes, you just got to be smarter about it. That's why there's the system of PACs and all of that stuff. All of those things are just different ways of making donations and potentially going above and beyond what your limit is as an individual, or what your limit is as a member of this PAC over here, or whatever. But all of that are just ways of going above and beyond that. So there's many legal ways to do it. When you get into these illegal ways of doing it, especially over time, it's not an accident. That's why you're using other people's names. And again, with the foreign national piece, that's a bright line. That's just a no-no under any circumstances. They can't give and you can't solicit, period. That's not even a reporting problem.
It's a safety issue, especially in a place like New York City.
Absolutely.
What are you doing?
Absolutely. And of course, a place like New York City being ripe for this type of corruption because of its dependence on foreign nationals to be an actual thriving part of the economy.
Yeah.
And just as a quick aside, if you don't mind, this is a country that, yes, they are very restrictive, but when you see stuff like this, you go, maybe they're on to something. So so Dubai is one that I'll bring up. Had a close friend who worked in Dubai for a number of years with their corporation. And there are rules as it relates to how foreign corporations can operate in Dubai. Do you know that, so everybody, I always learn that, like teaching an audience. So you're learning something new today about Dubai, that no foreign corporation can own more than 50% of their own company in Dubai, which means that there are individuals who are there. They are licensed agents, and you have to be, of course, a part of that system, who are licensed agents, and they, or either they as a person or through their company, would technically, even if it's just on paper, own 51% at least of your company. So, and the reason for that is obvious. They don't want somebody else to have a certain level of influence or more influence. Now, again, we know that this is all on paper and things can be corrupted, but when you see stuff like this, that reminds you of why countries like that will do that. And I'm not saying that that is the right thing to do, but we get why when you look at stuff like this. They've taken it a step further. We just say, don't donate, don't accept, whatever. They're like, I mean, donate, don't donate, whatever. But you are not going to own more than what we own, even if it belongs to you. Or at the very least, we've got a seat at the table when decisions are made regarding your company that affect us. Now, outside of Dubai, you do what you want and we're not involved in that. But for the purposes of what goes on here in Dubai as it relates to this company, we've got a seat at the table.
Yeah. And
When
it's
you look at
smart.
stuff
You
like
keep control.
this,
You keep control that way. And you do not allow other interests to come in and disrupt what you have going on, which is why what he is doing is so freaking dangerous. And I'm still just baffled that everything is documented. I don't know how he's going to get out of this. Is there a way for him to get out of this?
I think the one that would probably, I think the one that he would probably have the best argument on, although I mean, really doesn't really get you far. I think the one that he probably has the best argument on is maybe the conspiracy, only because his attorney, as I would raise questions about the actual elements of the conspiracy, not so much whether or not some of these things occurred, because you're going to be dealing with that and the other charges. But sometimes as an attorney, when you have absolutely nothing else, you literally just argue flat out on the elements. So like I told you earlier, one of the crucial elements of the conspiracy is whether or not there was an agreement among the conspirators. Mm-hmm. So if I were representing him, that would be one of the first things that I would argue, that element of agreement is missing, even if it, kind of makes my client look bad to say, well, there may have been some shaky-dakey behavior going on as it relates to the underlying charges. You still don't have the conspiracy because you can't prove that there was an agreement among actors. Who acted alone, who was acting in their own self-interest, who may have just done stuff because they thought that they were following orders. And sometimes there might be a little element of soft throwing your client under the bus in one piece, versus when you are when you're trying to disprove something on the other hand. Kind of like in a domestic, for instance, in a domestic case, when a person says, well, my client may have punched her in the face, but he only did that because she hit him first, that kind of thing. So it's that whole trying to pull away from one element by admitting others. Yes, there was some foul behavior here, but did they agree to do it? So that's one of the areas that I would try to attack. The conspiracy would be on the elements. The bribery piece would be another one that, again, I would try to, as his attorney, I would try to attack on the elements as well, because with that, I would try to claim at the very least, and I think most attorneys would, that there is no direct link between the behavior that you claim is the source of the bribe, the money, the flights, the hoes, all of the hoes, I would try to claim that the things that are the source of the bribery that meet is that there is, no nexus, that string between I did this for you, I gave you this flight, I did that, versus you doing this favor for me. Did anybody actually say, I'm giving you money because I want you to hook that building up? I'm giving you money because years from now, I'm going to ask you to not be friends anymore with the person who runs the community center. So those are the types of things that you would try to do, because this case is pretty well done. And
That
as
was my next
as a defense attorney, I'm always looking for my angle, right?
That's what I was going to say. I'm like the evidence is there now.
I'm always looking for my angle. I've had one of the best compliments a judge ever gave me was that even early on, I was in Virginia, so take it with the what the reference is. I perfected the art of turning a sow's ear into a silk purse. So of course, being from Jersey, we basically be like, it was perfected art of shining up some shit. Yeah. But ultimately, that's what you try to do as a defense attorney. But when all else fails, you just attack the elements. And for the bribery one, I would try to cut off the string. Say, yes, this stuff went on, and that may go towards the wire fraud count, but you don't have it as it relates to the bribery count. And I would say a plea, but this guy seems to be standing 10 toes down in your face. I mean, he's not just audacious in these activities if they're true. Obviously, you are innocent until proven guilty, which I live and die by. You're innocent until proven guilty. But if any number of these things are taken as true, we know that he is bold. But based on his reaction even before yesterday, let alone the press conference yesterday, that boldness and audacity has not gone away. Has anybody checked to see what zodiac sign he is? I'm wondering if he's a fellow Leo, because we tend to be clowns in that regard. We don't know when to sit down.
He is not budging. In your professional opinion, do you think that he could get out of this? Like, from all of the things that you have seen thus far, okay. So he's going to do time.
I would love to say yes. I think that the wire fraud alone is so ugly. And when you add that, I mean, there's a number of things that go into that wire fraud piece. That's nasty. The straw donations and whatever. But when you add the double dipping that swoops in the public funds, because it's one thing, not that it's right. If everybody takes away nothing else, it's bad enough that you may have committed any number of offenses as it relates to bringing private funds from people, these straw donations and whatever, because no matter who that money came from, whether it came from you acting as you or you acting as someone else, that's still their money. Yeah. Wrong, but still their money. Once you get into the possibility that you got public funds, that's a whole other level. And you use public funds, you got public funds to match ill-gotten gains. So there's just double dipping all the way around. That is the kind of stuff that you never, ever want a judge to hear. When I'm dealing with the burglary, I don't want the judge to hear that there was anybody in the house and of course, if it's a burglary, somebody's in the house. It's bad enough if somebody's in the house, but at the very least, if it's a grown man who just happens to have a license to carry, then okay, well, it's still BS. But well, Your Honor, he was perfectly capable of defending himself. In fact, he shot him. But you definitely don't want the judge to hear that, well, not only were there people in the house, but he came in through the baby nursery's window and had to hop over the baby on his way to commit the atrocious acts in the rest of the house. This is hopping over the baby. He came in through the nursery.
You know what? And it's just the fact, I honestly think he's just been able to get away so long with being a cop that he just thought it would be the same way. And
because he's not young. I think he's not super old. I mean, I say that as a woman in her 50s, that what is old now is relative to me. Yeah. I'm like 60, that ain't old. Meanwhile, I think me and Mama Star are more age contemporary than me and you. but yes, he's gotten away with stuff for a long time. I think he's around 60. So even when he became borough president in 2014, something like that, he was already around 50, which means he had been scheming and doing all kinds of stuff, allegedly. Hi, Alex. He had been scheming and scamming for a long time. But even his association with the Turkish people, so I know we're going to have to go soon, so I just wanted to touch on that. Even his scheming and scamming with them, when you're rolling with the big dogs and people with so much money, you think you're one of the big dogs. You're on $13,000 flights. You're staying in the Bentley suite. You're going, excuse me, you are going to places. I think one of these flights, he flew to Istanbul on his way to France. And then on another flight,
he's having secret meetings.
They did all of that. I put it in my notes. It was crazy. But on one of the flights, they did all of that on their way to Beijing. Like, he would do whatever he needed to do to fly on Air Turkey. They couldn't use it as it relates to Chile. They were like, we just can't do that. But so when you're rolling with the big dogs, you think you're one of them. Yeah. I'm wondering how he had time to govern. Because it's
did he govern?
Well, that pretend to govern.
Yeah.
Because according to the folks in New York, even if you put all the corruption aside, they weren't feeling the job that he was doing, or rather not doing either. And and they're worried about the actual rats in the street. It looks like they should have been concerned about the one in Gracie Mansion.
Come on.
The Gracie Mansion. New Yorkers are not even clear about whether or not he even lived in Gracie Mansion. They're not sure if he was living in Jersey with one of his women. They don't know. And all of the women, they just said another female associate. So now let's take it off of the official to the unofficial.
Yeah.
Why are we going to Turkey so much? Even if you're taking their money for what they want in New York.
Listen,
why are you going to Turkey so much? You're constantly taking women and or relatives. Now, of course, as we know from the pop culture side of things, that's a place to go to get some surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonably priced, good surgery, unless you're Hazel Lee. That is a place to go and get your surgeries. And it has been known to be a corridor for other unsavory activities, starting with X and ending in Avery.
Yeah.
And so not saying that is what was going on here, but one has to question why so many flights to Turkey, why they, out of everybody that you would be concerned with in New York. And by the way, the Turks is known for their level of corruption and crime and gang activity and all of that over there. Why would there be such a need for such a level of influence when you look at the relative communities in New York? When you look at the Italian community, when you look at the Asian community, sizable communities, but the Turkish are running the show at Gracie Mansion. There's a whole lot of questions that to me go well beyond.
Listen, I think we're going to find out. I think we're
going to find out as well. Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, I love reading the case side of it, but give me the messy.
Give me the tea. I'm telling you, I really do think that we're going to find out. I think that I don't think that the DAs in New York, I don't think they gave us the heavy hitters.
No, not at all.
I don't think they gave us the heavy hitters just yet. I think they gave us enough just to let us know what was going on. But I think I think it will go to trial because he has so much hubris. It will absolutely go to trial. I think his lawyers will be advising him to do something else, but I think it's going to go to trial. And I think that's when everything is going to come out.
I also believe that there is a lot of scrambling. It's probably already done to get models out of the country because they've got the key.
Really?
They got the tea. The girlies on the flights have the tea because when you are an ornament, nobody cares about talking in
Yes.
front of you. We know that even to this day as Black women, when they don't necessarily pay attention to the
Yeah.
fact that you're in the room and
Mhm.
folks are sharing things. Now, I'm sitting there like this the whole time taking notes, but that's a whole
I
separate thing.
wouldn't be surprised if one of those models was an informant.
Okay.
They've been
But
watching
yes,
him that
I
long.
think that there are probably some flights on flights that have been going on, but that is spiriting people out of the country, whether it's business people, particularly ones who hold dual citizenship,
Mhm.
because that's an easy leave, or some of these people not being citizens at all. Remember, they are referred to as foreign nationals.
Yeah.
These people have not been referred to as United States citizens who just happen to have ties to Turkey, because if they're US citizens, then we wouldn't have that whole charge as it relates to the solicitation of funds from foreign nationals. So the ones who are foreign nationals, they just leave. They don't have to talk. They don't have to do anything. Worst case scenario, if the United States knows who they are, they'll bar them from re-entry. But you're still rich and living in your own country anyway.
Mhm. Is that where the FBI gets involved?
Well, the FBI is involved because of this being an ongoing investigation right here.
Okay.
When you think of FBI, think of national. When you deal with international, then you're dealing with CIA and Homeland Security. Now, that doesn't mean that the FBI isn't reaching beyond the U.S. borders. They had to.
Mhm.
But of course, the FBI is going to be involved because of that. And also, the FBI is involved because this is a federal investigation. And they're the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So, and he did thank the New York, they don't call it New York Bureau of Investigation. They have a different name, but there is a New York version of the FBI that has a different name, that they were involved in this too. I also expect that there will probably be additional charges related to additional counts related to election fraud. I would not be surprised if that comes into play on the state level as well, because the amount pushes this in federal court, but there was a lot of potential breaches here as it relates to the number of charges. And of course, the more business people, the more business people involved in all of that, you're definitely going to have that. But I'm telling you, the women, whenever you have people that you treat as less than, when you treat as people who are just there to serve you, you don't pay them any attention. That is why, especially for someone like you who works in the industry, who knows who has all the best tea? Your hair and makeup people.
Yes.
Because
And
there's a point where
security.
folks, especially people of a certain level, began to treat them as if they're wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have all the tea. Whether or not they choose to tell it, well, that depends on whether or not they want to keep working. But they've got the tea.
Last question.
Mhm.
Do you think the CIA would become involved in this just because of his liaisons with foreign nationals? And it
I
does
think they
seem like-
already are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think they already are. You can't have this level of involvement with foreign nationals and not in the United States not be concerned about espionage.
Yeah.
That's
what I was thinking.
literally what we're dealing with potentially, especially when you're talking about bribes, because the concern then becomes, how high did these requests for influence, information, potential entree into election systems go? So everything, with this much stuff going on, why would you ever assume that it just stops at open my building, don't be friends with this person at the community center? And, in all measure, if there's a bunch of other things that were enumerated, there absolutely has to be I'm not there, but I would pretty much stake everything on it that there are concerns about espionage and where he falls into that because of his willingness to give these people so much, especially when we talk about the sharing of information. That is, it's funny because that was like one small paragraph in there, but that struck me harder than anything. That sharing of information. So I believe they're already involved, but again, it's CIA. They're not gonna say it.
Yeah, they're not gonna say anything. This is, oh my gosh, New York City. I'm sorry. This sucks. This is,
but
terrible.
this is, to me, this is New York and Chicago and all those places. This is the stuff we've read in our history books.
I would expect this from Chicago.
But you know what? This is what we've read in our history books, and I'm a history buff, so I love it. Yeah. This is the 1910s, 20s, and 30s in New York and Chicago and all of this. In fact, even when you look at the last time the governor had to remove a mayor, it does go all the way back to like Roosevelt and stuff, because that's, and these folks were straight clowning and wilding out. That's why RICO had to come into play in the 60s.
I think this is going to be interesting. I don't think that this is the end of it. I think we're going to be hearing a lot.
It's a great watch.
More, I think a lot more is coming out. I don't think the New York DA hit us with the heavy hitters. I think they will, though. I think they will. I think they put that out there just to get people to start talking to them.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like the Diddy case. We're putting stuff out there so that we can keep folks talking. I'm sorry about they said leave Chicago out of this.
Oh,
I didn't say all the clowns now, but
I'm sorry, Joshon. I have to say that.
History.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give Chicago a straight. I will say this: Philly is next. Philly is next.
Philly, stay on the list.
Philly, we're there. There's a lot going on in my city. Philly is next.
I mean, this is Detroit with Kwame Kilpatrick taken to the next level, because I don't know if he dealt with foreign nationals, but he had a lot of foolery.
Yeah, I don't think this is why this is so like great, because I'm like, he's taking this to another level. Like, you are entertaining foreign nationals.
Like, I mean, I was sitting here like, this dude is on flights like women going to see ball players. Like, what?
It's not even smart, because if your flights are not even going to the place where your destination is, it doesn't make any sense for you to be on those flights. You're literally taking flights and not staying at these places for too long. So there's not anything happening there in the place that you land.
Well, the party is in Turkey.
The party is on the flights.
Well, the party is on the flights, and that's why
he thinks that those meetings were secret. Somebody from the New York DA was on the flight.
If anybody knows about it other than you.
Yeah.
And when it comes to folks being charged criminally, you can forget it, because that no snitch rule is all lies. It's lies in the hood, and it's certainly lies at the level where people have something to lose. I say it all the time. But if I don't get to my client, or someone doesn't, the mama or whoever doesn't call me to hire me, but like literally contemporaneous with the crime, like the gun is still smoking.
Yeah.
If I don't get called by then, I can guarantee that 99% of the time somebody has said something. These mofos, the hardest of the hard, the gangbangeriest of the gangbangers, start crying and running their mouths before the cuffs are even clanked. They're sitting in the police car. I've seen videos with folks sitting in with the thing from the police car in between, just in there.
They will start talking, because especially for him, I think he's absolutely going to snitch, because the last thing he wants to do is be in a place where he sent so many people.
But it's scary for him to do that, right? Because when you're dealing with folks with big money and people from other countries with big money, their tentacles go deep. When you have stuff like this that is this pervasive, while they may be called businessmen, yeah, they're businessmen like John Gotti was a businessman.
Yeah.
They're businessmen like Al Capone was a businessman. People who participate in these things, especially when it's more than one person, are not individuals. They're a syndicate.
Yeah. True.
I'm saying that politely. We don't use the M word because apparently because we all, those of us like myself from Jersey and you're from Philly, the first rule of the M word is that there is no such thing.
Yep. Child, we know. We know. That's why
they are a criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
And a true criminal enterprise, especially if they are well funded, has tentacles everywhere.
Yeah. That go deep.
He
played a bad game. He played a bad hand, and he lost.
I hope that he does. If he doesn't flip, at the very least, plead, because we saw what happened when Jen Shaw pushed it to the last minute.
Yeah,
and she just took old people's money. He took everybody's money, because when you're talking public funds, all you need is a good prosecutor. I can write it for him now with the violins. This was money that should have gone towards school lunches, towards education,
to the libraries,
to the giant rats that are eating the children. This should have gone.
That's
yes.
Well, every chicken has its day, I guess, whatever that saying is. Every dog has its day, and this is his. My God, today. Before we get out of here, I do want to if you can answer this question from Critical Thinker. Critical Thinker said, "Thanks for answering, just Johnda. I meant super PAC type of donations." This was from the previous question that you answered.
Yes, and I think that Critical Thinker, you're on the right track. I think it goes back to what we were talking about with just different ways of people, the same people over and over, being able to donate money. Your average person can't afford to donate money, and certainly donate money that their politician will notice this came from grandma so-and-so of, the Shawshank neighborhood in whatever. But programs like that matching funds program, that's why it is such an imaginative and interesting program, because it does allow for people like that to donate big, and really not even so much for mayor. Because, it does take $1 gazillion to run for mayor of New York. It's New York. But it actually, in layman's terms, because we're talking about the mayor, so we're talking about big money. But think about how important a program like that is for someone who is running for ward supervisor or running for school board in, a smaller area. So programs like that are important, because where would they get the money for their posters or for anything? Anybody who's ever run for office or known people have run for office, especially these smaller offices, where are they supposed to get the money from? Especially since nobody really cares unless it's for president or mayor or governor. So that's what makes programs like that even more important. Beyond buying influence, it actually opens up the possibility for the person sitting next to you in the next pew at church to run for ward president, because they might actually be the best ward president your community has ever seen. So it is disgusting, even as it relates to, even if you're looking at it from that standpoint. Take it out of, this money could have gone towards whatever. That's hyperbole we use in court. But for us regular people, cousin so-and-so who's brilliant beyond measure, but would never be able to run for head of whatever. Programs like this allow them to do that.
Yeah.
Programs like this go away when someone like him uses the money for this, because most people do not think of these things in the same way as we're discussing it right now, like your brilliant cousin who should be running for head of the ward. Most people are just like, you know what? This allows for people to just steal from us. It's not important. If you want to run for office, you find the money, screw you, repeal that program. And that's what happens.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
ward
you.
presidents can become senators and federal presidents. Exactly. But you got to start somewhere. This guy started out as president of, he's a prime example. This person started out as president of or was it borough president of Brooklyn. Yeah. And now he is the second Black mayor of New York City, literally like one of the most important cities in the world. And a cop who became a borough president becomes the mayor. Of course,
and then becomes an agent for Turkey.
And then becomes a federal inmate.
Yeah. Oh, 2024. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. Johnda. Oh, you wanted to ask another question?
No, I was just looking. Someone said they worked for him and said why they taking money from libraries. He couldn't defend it. Okay. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, Spency said, I went to a work event with the person who worked for him. And I said, why have they taken money from libraries? And he couldn't defend it. I wonder if that person resigned. Probably.
Mm-hmm. Resign. Well, if not, everybody about to be out of a job.
Yeah.
If he appointed you, you gone.
Yeah. No credibility. Take him off your resume. Take him off your resume. Absolutely. Johnda, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm so honored to be
here. Where can we follow you? What would you like? How would you like us to support you? This is your floor.
Okay, so you all can follow me on a number of platforms, but I'll just give you one because then you can find everything there. Awesome. So I have YouTube. Finally, I've been threatening to do it for a minute. So I have a YouTube page. It is Just Johnda. There's something, you're looking for Just Johnda where it's together. JUSTJOHNDA, no space in between. And of course, it's got that cute little blue picture there that says, Let's Be Honest with Just Johnda. That is my title. That's the title of my YouTube. That is the title of my page. And of course, given that I'm an attorney, I love to dig deep. So I call that Just Johnda's LBD, my little black dress, my legal breakdown, when we get into the cases. And I read everything. I tell you everything that's going on, give you my opinion. So you'll have that. I have a podcast, Let's Be Honest with Just Johnda. And now YouTube has accepted the podcast episodes. They are literally dropping every single day. So there's over 100 episodes already. And I, again, talk about everything. I call it pop culture for the grown and sexy. So you get me unfiltered, giving you the breakdown on everything, whether it's this, my opinion about the housewives and their legal woes, or just the shows in general. I'll have guests. Hopefully Nikki will honor me
of course.
Come on to talk about the foolishness, and you'll love that I give them catchy titles too. Right now our current series is So You're Just Gonna Play in My Face. And so you're just gonna play in my face series it started with Wendy Williams. I did a full breakdown of the recent case. So if you want to know what's going on there, because it's a lot, I just dropped that episode. And of course, I've been covering all things Diddy. Hello.
Yes.
And they're playing it. He's playing in our face as well. Yeah. Eric Adams is a part of that series. T.I. and Tiny is also a part of that series because for once they're on the good side. Their faces got played in with the OMG Girls situation. So please go like and join, and all the other ways to follow me is there. I am everywhere at Just Johnda. I am at Just Johnda. I'm gonna put it in the chat, my damn self. So I'm
gonna put it in the description box. So
perfect. So I'm at Just Johnda on Instagram. I am and I'm Just Johnda here on YouTube. So I love it. Please follow me. That's what it looks like. And so I hope to see you over there so we can have lots of fun. And I'm also doing a starting over series with the upcoming book where you're going to get lots of background on a journey that I had, a very serious journey. I won't talk about it. I want you all to go and listen to it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you for that ad.
Of course. This is what we do here. You're a part of the Star family. We support each other.
Yes.
And I also wanted to say, if anybody out there in the Star family, if you have an expertise, just Johnda reached out and was just like, this is what I do. Let me talk about it. I was like, thank you. Because half the stuff, I don't even know what I'm reading. So if you have an expertise, reach out. Let's support each other. This is what this is for. We are a Star family.
Yes, Star family in the house. I think I've been a Star family probably from the beginning. You
have. You are right, guy. I love you. Again, thank you so much for joining me. This was wonderful. We will connect about some more stuff. I heard you guys suggesting some things, so we will connect about some more things. Thank you all for watching us. Please make sure you go and support Just Johnda. I will put all of her information in the description box below. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon for something else. Bye.
Bye. Have a great one.
Yes, this was great. Thank you.